On belly up, back bends today. It's my little tongue-in-cheek for my belly up week, my studio closing, which was pretty rough. Starting to feel a little better now that I have some places lined up that I'm going to teach at. And so now I feel excited about that again, but it was still like very emotional to have to go and like clean everything out and bring all that stuff back to my house. And so we'll see what the future holds. I may try again when this is good and done, but maybe not. See, maybe I'll be really happy teaching at these other places and maybe I'll want to stick around there. So I'm just kind of having an open mind. And to me, that's sort of the whole flavor of this belly up idea. So when we're belly up, we're kind of in a place of surrender, right? It's like, I give up, you know, I just can't do it anymore. And it's just this place of the unknown that I'm finding myself in. So when we surrender, it's sort of this, like, we got to let go of the reins and we don't know where life's going to take us yet when we go in this belly up. So when we do belly up back bends, it can have that flavor of kind of breaking us open, right? And just like, if we're feeling it all closed down, shut down, it can make us feel vulnerable to really open up the front of our body. So it has a very different energetic effect than belly down back bends. Because when we're belly down, this part is very protected. We're on the ground, so we don't have that same threat when we're on the ground as we might when we're open, like in the belly up position. So just see what comes up for you as you do a practice of belly up back bends today. We're going to start on our backs with a little somatic work to mobilize our shoulders. So having a blanket down would be really good, so you can have your slide and glide. And we are going to need a strap with a big loop in it, like a long loop, about a leg's distance. If you want to get that ready now, you can, or you can wait and get it ready when we get started with it. We will also need a set of blocks. And if you want anything extra for your Shavasana. All right, so I'll meet you guys on your mat. I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody so you can start music if you like. All right, so when you're ready, just go ahead and come down onto your back. I'll give you guys another moment to just get all that settled. And I'm just going to ask really quickly, if anyone can hear my music playing, give a raise of a hand and I'll turn it down. I play it really quietly so you guys can't hear it. Okay, I think we're good. So go ahead and take a couple moments to land on your back with your belly up. So our first belly up position, Shavasana. And we'll take a few moments of breath here. Surrendering into this moment. Letting go of things you need to do later, things that happened before. And surrender to the now. I'm going to start with a little reading today, both at the beginning and end of class from T.S., who I'm studying with right now. He writes that at some point, the spiritual path requires a leap into the unknown, outside the framework of the familiar. Moving into uncharted territory demands that we trust, have courage, and be willing to take a leap of faith. I am reminded of an old Chinese proverb, to say you don't know is the beginning of knowing. For me, not knowing has opened up unforeseen vistas along the path. When we relinquish having to know and open to something just outside of our grasp, we enter a strange wonder, an anonymous space full of mystery, the magnum mysterium. In the quiet hours when we rest in not knowing, stillness and peace bathe each and every cell and synapse of our being. And we connect to an energy source that sustains everything. In yoga, the profound and immense energy that mothers all creation is called Shakti. When we hush our conspiring, interpretive mind, we discover a latent, enduring energy. Like a prospector hitting a vein of crude oil under a layer of rock, we tap a tremendous current. It is through the power of not knowing that artists find inspiration, scientists conceive of new cures, and explorers reach new frontiers. So sometimes it's hard, but there's a lot of potential in this place of not knowing. On your next inhale, go ahead and take your arms overhead and come into a full body stretch. And then I'm going to start by a little bit of reaching through the arms and legs to start to lengthen the psoas muscle. So take your right arm, right leg, and reach long, push out through your heel, and let that left side of the body contract a little bit. And then go ahead and reach through the other side, like you're climbing up a rope, and go side to side a few more times. It's really kind of feeling and sensing into this core of the body, this area of the deep psoas muscle. When we're feeling kind of shut down, closed off, it tends to contract, pull us into a flexion state, which is kind of the opposite of what we're going to do when we're in a belly up back bend. All right, go ahead, let that go. Let the arms come down at your side. And now we're going to do a little work to mobilize the shoulder blades. Palms are face down. And we're going to slide the right hand down towards your right foot, and then your left hand towards your left foot. And we're just going to go side to side, feeling the shoulder blades kind of move up and down on your back. So all of you guys are regular yoga practitioners. So you might not have this problem, but sometimes the shoulder blades can get really stuck on our back. And they're not very mobile, but they do move in a lot of different directions. And we can encourage that through some of these movements. Now, starting to let the hip move up as you come into that side bend. So as you reach your right hand towards your right foot, pull your right hip up. And we get a little bit more lengthening through the side body as you emphasize that. One more on each side. Now come back to stillness for a moment. Take a breath. You might even just start to feel a little tingling through your arms as we start to mobilize a little bit of neurological flushing when we do this work. Now we're going to go side to side, but we're going to go quickly. So side to side, reach, reach, reach. And just feel this kind of up slip, down slip of your shoulder blades. Go as fast or as slow as you like here, but if you go a little faster, we're going to get into more of that fascia and tissue around the shoulder blades. Kind of thinking about it as warming it up by creating friction. And again, pause. Might want to slow down a little bit at a time so it's not quite so sudden. And then drop. Feel that sense of energy moving through your shoulders and your arms, maybe your back. All right, so from here, inhale, reach the arms overhead, bring your palms together to touch. And let's go ahead and bend the knees for this one. Lengthen through your lower back and then reach up through your palms. When you reach up through your palms, the shoulder blades pull apart from each other, so it's protraction. Now take that right hand and reach it even higher. So you're trying to touch the ceiling and the shoulder blade pulls away from your spine and go side to side. So lift that shoulder blade off the ground, let it pull away from the spine, and just go side to side. You might even notice that you feel this through your core as you go side to side. So there's some muscles that are helping us to lift that arm up toward the ceiling. Good, and now pause, palms together, take an inhale. Exhale, just drop the arms any amount toward the left, look towards your right. You're not gonna go far. Inhale, center, exhale to the other side. Let the head start to go opposite of your arms. Again, we're getting that little pull of the shoulder blade away from the spine. Come back to center and now give yourself a hug by draping your arms over your body and see if you can pull your shoulder blades apart. So you might need to lift up a little bit, get that flesh between your shoulder blades to move apart, as if you have like a tattoo there right between your shoulder blades, you want to show it off. And now, similarly to what we just did, let the elbows move over to the left and look to your right. And then let the elbows move to the right as you look to the left. Really pull on that shoulder blade as if you want to take a peek. You want to take a peek at that tattoo, or maybe you're trying to look at your freckle. See if you can really lift that shoulder blade and look underneath it. You might not see anything, but you're going in that direction. And just feel how this mobilizes through your shoulders and through your rib cage. Maybe even down through your core. Let's come back to center and just switch the arms. Inhale the arms up. Take your opposite arm on top. Get a good handful of your shoulder blades. Pull them apart and then repeat. Elbows and head are going opposite directions. You want to try and look underneath that shoulder blade. So we're often really stiff here in the middle back area. So when we do a back bend, it all goes to the more mobile area, our lower back. So this work is helping us to really mobilize this mid to upper back area. All right, go ahead and let that go. Let the arms come down and just pause for a moment. Take a nice full breath in and out. All right, and then from here, let's go ahead and roll over to the side, and we're going to come on up into a seated position. And we're going to come into a kneeling position. So if you know that that's hard for you, you can grab a block to sit on if kneeling is challenging. And we're going to have our strap, put it underneath our shins. So you can have it underneath your shins and sit up on a block if that's better for you. So we're not using the tail or the loop rather right now, but it's okay if it's in there. Doesn't hurt anything as long as you have a nice long strap, okay? Now from here, we're sitting on the strap with our shins. We're gonna take the strap behind us and cross the tails. And then you're gonna hold one end of the strap in each hand. And your shins are pinning it down, so it's not gonna slip out. Sitting up nice and tall without popping your rib cage, you're gonna take a moment to inhale, lift your chest up straight, and then exhale, pull on the strap. And as you pull on the strap, feel how that opens your chest, opens your collarbones, and helps you draw the shoulder blades towards each other, strengthening the area of the rhomboids. And then relax for a moment. And we're gonna do it 2 more times. So when you're ready, pull, open across the chest. Try to have a little micro bend in the elbow so we're not locking there. Hold it as long as you wish. And when you're ready, release it for a moment. Let's do that one more time. Pull on the strap, open across your chest, micro bend the elbows. and then release and let it go. Okay, you can take the strap out now. And again, you might want to have that long loop in the strap for later. So I have it about a leg's distance. And we'll just set that to the side and we'll come into tabletop pose. So we can keep that blanket if you have it for now, just for a little bit longer. And when you're ready, we'll go through some cat-cow. So take an inhale. As you exhale, feel the spread of those shoulder blades. So they're protracting away from each other. And as you inhale, they're drawing towards each other. And maybe slightly down your back. Exhale, round, push away, spread the shoulder blades, and reverse. So as you inhale, you want to think about spreading those shoulder blades, that imaginary tattoo on your back. I'm going to show that off by protracting the shoulder blades apart. It just helps mobilize into the tissues of our upper back. Let's do one more cycle. And then you can send your hips back, take a brief child's pose. Go ahead, hold it here. Let's take 2 more breaths. And then from here, let's see if we can interlace our hands behind our back. If you can't easily do that, grab your strap and hold the strap between your hands. You can stay here, lift the shoulder heads away from the ground. And if you like, lift up into rabbit pose. So lift your hips, lift the arms, and keep that little micro bend in the elbow. So it's really easy here to really lock out those elbows. Keep lifting your shoulder heads. Take one more breath. And then go ahead, slowly release back down to child's pose. Next inhale, coming back into tabletop pose, grab your blocks. And go ahead, step your right foot forward, coming into a lunge. And then from here, we're going to take one block up in our hands. First, neutralize your pelvis, lift your lower belly, lengthen your back, and then reach the block up overhead. And we're going to press the hands into the block and lift the block up as high as you can. So it's like shoulder elevation. And then you might drop a little deeper into that front knee. Keep reaching your block up, up, up. So we're finding that length through the side body. And now bend your elbows and bring the block behind the back of your head. Press the head and block into each other and then squeeze your elbows in and then maybe lean back into a little back bend. So starting to get a little belly up here. Elbows in, reach them up, press your head and block into each other. And see if you can feel your upper spine moving in, contracting the spinal muscles. Good. Next inhale, reach the arms back up and then set the hands down onto the blocks. Now, if you don't need the blocks, you could go to the floor or you could lower your blocks. We're going to tuck the back toes under and lift that knee just barely an inch off the ground. And let it drop, let it graze as low as it can to the ground without touching. So this really gets into kind of that back hip flexor psoas area. Root through your front foot and just let that back knee get super, super heavy and lift through your chest. We're going to hold here another breath or two. That leg might get a little shaky. One more. And then after this next breath, go ahead, slowly set that knee back down and step back. Let's try the other side. Step forward. After this, we're going to get moving a little bit more. Grab your block, take that block up overhead. Press your hands into the block, reach it high. Try not to flare your ribs. You want the ribs right over the pelvis. Lift the hip points, lengthen your tailbone, and then bring that block behind the back of your skull. Hug the elbows in, lift them up, and then maybe now sliding into that front knee, but we're still trying to lift the hip points and lengthen the tailbone. Maybe you're back bending here. Noticing that upper back contracting. Let's hold here, another breath. And then next inhale, go ahead, release, take that block up and bring your hands down. Tuck your back toes, lift that back knee barely off the ground. Let it get heavy, like it's just dropping, but don't let it touch. Chest stays lifted, arms stay straight. Hold here for another moment or two. Let that knee get a little heavier if you can. And then slowly go ahead, let that knee come all the way down and step back. All right, go ahead, set those blocks off to the side. If you have your blanket on your mat, you can go ahead, take it off now. And then I'll meet you in downward facing dog when you're ready. All right, so coming into your dog, check out your wrist position. Let's have wrist creases parallel to the top of the mat or just slightly turned out. So get the little bit of external rotation in the shoulders. Bend your knees so that we can really tip those sit bones up and lengthen the lower back. Firm your upper arms, firm your shoulders. And if you can manage to keep that low back lengthened, you might be able to start to straighten the legs a bit, sending your inner thighs back. Maybe pedal it out a little bit, bending one knee, then the other. On your next inhale, let's come forward into plank pose, top of a push-up, and pause there for a moment. We'll do a little of our shoulder flossing. So we're going to take an inhale, exhale, push into the floor and round your shoulders so that they're spreading apart. And then as you inhale, you're going to let them squeeze towards each other and you're dropping a little bit. So push, spread the shoulder blades, and then release, maintaining those straight arms. Now you could drop knees here if this is challenging. So just floss those shoulder blades one more time. And then go ahead and lower all the way down. Inhale, cobra. Pull the hands back, shoulders nice and broad. And downward facing dog. From here, go ahead and look forward. Walk your feet to meet your hands. You're welcome to jump if you like. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale and fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. And exhale, release, arms down. Every time I jump, my earbuds fall out. So you guys are welcome to do the jump throughs if you wish. Okay, couple sun salves. Let's inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come into the halfway lift. Your choice, hands on the floor, shins or thighs. But let's see if we can really lengthen through the spine here. When you're ready, plant your hands, step back, plank pose. Option to drop knees or not, keep those elbows hugging in as you lower down. Reach back through your feet. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Let's hold the dog for another breath. Really lift your sit bones up, firm your arms. And then inhale, and as you exhale, step or lightly jump, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up. And exhale, release, arms at your side. Good. One more time through. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, prepare, step back, plank pose. If you'd like to go to an up dog, you're welcome to, lowering either halfway chaturanga or lower to the ground, coming into your cobra. And downward facing dog. Big inhale here, and as you exhale, step or lightly jump, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, release, arms down. Surya Namaskar C, we'll do some lunge salutes, again, getting into our hip flexors. And then we're gonna add in some vinyasa flows. So inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, step your right foot to the back of the mat, drop that knee down, and then inhale, arms reach out and up. This time, bring your palms together and see if you can bend the elbows, bring the palms behind the back of the head. Lift through the elbows, maybe a little deeper back bend. Good, inhale up, exhale down, step back, plank, and lower down. Inhale through your back bend, downward facing dog. So just a little variation. Inhale, right leg up, step through, drop that back knee. Inhale, the arms reach. Bring the palms together, bring them behind the back of your head. Lift the elbows, deepen into your front knee. Little back bend, maybe gazing up. Inhale, reach, hands down, step forward. Fold forward. And then inhale, rise up. Exhale, arms down. Good, side two. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale, prepare. Step the left foot back, drop that knee down, and inhale, reach the arms up. This time, interlace your hands behind your back. Try not to lock the elbows, but roll the shoulder heads back. We're going to inhale here, and as you exhale, maybe slide deeper into your front knee and lift your chest. Root into your front foot. Lengthen the back of your neck. Next inhale, reach the arms, hands down, step back, plank pose. Take your vinyasa here, lower to your belly, or take your upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. When you're ready, inhale, left leg. Step through, drop that back knee, and inhale, reach. Interlace your hands behind your back, opposite thumb on top. Open across your chest and collarbones. And then maybe slide deeper into that front knee, maybe more back bend. Try not to lock those elbows. Pull the elbow creases apart from each other, just a little bit. Good, inhale, reach the arms. Hands down, step forward. Fold over your legs. And inhale, let's rise all the way up. And exhale, release. All right, before we flow again, let's grab our strap. Let's do a couple things here for shoulders. So I'm going to be standing in this in a moment, and you're going to have to be able to reach down and hold the loop with your hand. So for me, I've got to go a little bit shorter, and this is actually going to go behind us. So I'm just coming a little closer so you can see that I'm going to stand on the strap and then be able to hold the loop behind my back. So it's a little tricky. Okay, my loop's too small. So I'm going to make my loop a little bigger. And try not to stand on the buckle. Okay, so trying again here. I think I got it now. Okay, so see if you can figure that out. It might take you a minute. Your heels are in the strap and it's behind your back. And you're gonna hold on to the tail with both hands. If your strap is not long enough to do this, you can just clasp your hands instead. Or if you can't quite figure it out. Okay, once you have that, really pin the strap down with your heels and now pull on the strap and try to pull the strap up and apart. And you'll feel that opening in your chest. The opening of the collarbones, the opening of the shoulders. And on your back, the shoulder blades are starting to squeeze towards each other. Good, now from here, bend your knees like you're doing chair pose. Get a really good grip on the strap. And now we're gonna really grip the strap and slowly, slowly straighten the legs, pull the strap apart and come into that back bend. Try that 2 more times. Bend your knees, press down through your heels, pull the strap apart, straighten your legs, and find a standing back bend. Pull the strap apart. Make sure the neck stays long. 1 more time. Bend those knees. Good, straighten the leg, pull on the strap, open across your chest. Good, and then release. And you can let that go. Keep the strap nearby. We're gonna use it in the flow in a little bit. All right, so coming back to mountain pose. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. And then step it back, take your vinyasa, or you can also go right to your dog if you wish. Inhale your right leg up, and we're gonna step through and come into warrior 2. So I'm doing my left leg so I can stay facing you guys, but you guys do your right leg. Okay, deep bend into that front knee, reach out through your arms, and then interlace your hands behind your back, square your chest forward. Pull your palms apart to open the chest, and then side bend towards your front leg. Good. Really keep that top shoulder back, and then the bottom shoulder back. Extend through your heart space. Good. Inhale, release back to warrior 2. And then come into reverse warrior. Wrap the bottom arm around your back, so a little bit more shoulder opening there. And then spin the pinky down toward the ground. So get a little external rotation in that top arm. Keep the hand where it is, come into side angle. So back hand where it is. And you can either have your forearm on your thigh, or you can reach lower down towards your ankle. Externally rotate your bottom arm and roll your top shoulder back. Pull the tailbone in a little bit and extend through your spine. Press down and apart with your feet. 1 more breath. Good. On your next inhale, let's take that top arm, reach it back up, and come back into warrior 2. Cartwheel your hands down, step back to dog. Take the vinyasa if you like. All right, inhale your left leg up behind you. And step it through, come into your warrior 2. Good, interlace opposite hand behind you. Square your chest toward the long side of your mat and open across the collarbones. Take an inhale to lift your chest. Exhale, side bend toward that front leg. Keep the front sit bone right behind the knee and then start to rotate that top shoulder back. Extend through the arms and through the chest. They're like going in opposite directions. Good, inhale back up, warrior 2. Reverse warrior with the wrap, back hand wraps. Spin the pinky finger down. And then we're going to keep that wrap as we come into our side angle. So either forearm on thigh or go deeper with your hand down to the floor or your ankle. Roll that top shoulder back and externally rotate the bottom arm. Maybe lean back a little bit. Get grounded through your heels and then press down and apart with your feet. Good, release that top arm up and rise back up, warrior two. Good, cartwheel your hands down, take the vinyasa or go right to your downward facing dog. Know that child's pose is also always an option if you need one. Okay, so from here, inhale that right leg straight up behind you again. Step through, and we're gonna grab the strap to come up to warrior two. So if it's within reach, if not, you're gonna have to grab it. Okay, so take your strap, and we're gonna put the loop part under the back heel. And then we're gonna have to adjust that strap so that we can have a good tension on it. So I'm gonna have to make it just a little bit shorter. I'm gonna have to hold the top part of the loop as I pin the bottom part of the loop into my heel. Good. Okay, from here, we're coming into side angle pose, and you're gonna make sure there's some tension on that strap. Keep your forearm on your thigh for now. So as I pin that heel down, I'm getting a little bit of kind of depression of the shoulder blade here. Hopefully you guys can feel that. Roll that top shoulder back. The shoulder blade is kind of into your spine. If you want to go deeper, let that hand come down towards your ankle. Keep rolling the top shoulder back. Keep pinning that heel into the ground. One more breath. Good. All right, rise back up into your warrior two and pause for a moment. So I'm going to show you guys. We're going to take this into half moon with the heel in the strap. It's going to give you some stability, but also kind of manage that top shoulder. And then we're going to take it back to triangle, and we're going to reach back with both hands to hold the strap. So if you need a block for your half moon, you could have that. All right, so from here, you would step in and lift up and still got that strap around the heel, and I'm going to roll the top shoulder back. So go ahead and try if you're ready to do that. Yeah, so if the strap's not tight enough, you're not going to have that stability. So by pushing into the strap, I'm helping to engage my leg and possibly open that top shoulder a bit. Hold here if you can. One more breath. And then we're going to slowly step back. Now, make sure you're pinning that strap under the heel again. We're going to straighten the front leg, reach back, and see if you can catch the strap with both hands, which is going to take both shoulders back. And now tip into triangle, but you're pinning the strap with your heel and getting those shoulders to roll back. Make sure your front leg is externally rotating and extend through your spine. Maybe lean back a little bit so you have weight in your heels. One more breath. And then we're going to rise back up, release your strap, come into warrior two. Very nice. Cartwheel your hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Vinyasa if you like. I want to watch you guys do this next round. Okay. When you're ready, inhale left leg, step into warrior two, grab your strap along the way if you can. Okay, so when you're ready, get that strap around the back heel Adjust if you need to adjust. If it didn't feel right on the last side, make an adjustment for yourself. And then you're holding that strap with your back hand. And when you're ready, come into side angle position. So you're either going to put forearm on the thigh initially, and you're holding that strap behind you, rolling the top shoulder back, pinning the strap with your back heel. If you want to go further, come deeper into your side angle by letting that arm start to come down towards your ankle or your shin, or stay with your forearm on your thigh. See if you can now broaden your collarbones, open the collarbones, lean a little more forward. Good. All right, let's just come up for a moment out of that so you can prepare. We're going to come back into it and then go into the half moon. So you still have that strap. All right, so first come back toward your side angle. All right, and then starting to shift into your half moon. So if you're using your block, place that behind your shin and step that back foot in and lift it up. That's it. And you're going to have that tension on the strap. If it's not tight enough, it's not going to support you. Push the foot into the strap and surrender to the process, right? We're surrendering to not being perfect here. You guys got it. Very nice. See if you can hold, roll that top shoulder back. You guys got stable. Awesome. Okay, step it back carefully. Coming back up towards your warrior two, and then you're going to start to reach back and hold that strap with both hands. Chest still faces the long edge of your mat. Straightening the front leg, externally rotating the front leg, and then hinge toward triangle pose, but you're pulling on that strap the whole time, getting that nice opening through the shoulders. Spin the top shoulder back. Really root through your legs and your heels. Try to open your collarbones. Maybe your head could go back in line with the rest of your spine if it's forward. That's it. Good. Okay, slowly rise back up. Warrior two, release that strap. Good. Cartwheel your hands down. Step back for the vinyasa if you'd like to take it. We're going to meet in child's pose, so you can stay in dog if you wish, or stay in child's pose a little longer. Okay, so a couple breath cycles here. Nice work. So we're going to move now toward some of our belly up back bends. And we'll start with a simple camel pose. And then we're going to come down and explore some bridge poses. So when you're ready, we're going to come up on our knees, have your strap. If you need padding under your knees, use your blanket. And we're going to hold the strap behind our backs. And you don't need the loop, just holding the strap between your two hands is enough. Okay, so before we back bend, lift your front hip points up and let your tailbone drop down to get a neutral pelvis. If we start with the pelvis not neutral, we tend to really get it in our low back instead of getting this mobility in the upper back where we're looking for it. Pull your strap apart and open across your chest. Toes can be tucked or untucked, your choice. Keep lifting the front hip points, lengthening your tail. Now get a sense of lifting your back ribs away from the back of your pelvis before you start a little back bend. So we make space in that lower back. And now imagine your shoulder blades could lift your heart up. So shoulder blades into the back of the heart, lift it up, break that heart open, back of the neck long. And then slowly, slowly, when you're ready, start to release. You can let the strap go and maybe sit back on your heels for a moment if that's comfortable. If you need to, you can maybe come down to table or child's pose. We're going to repeat that. Option to deepen. If that felt good, you can repeat the strap. Let's come back up. Bring your hands on your lower back, fingernails pointing downward. Lengthen your lower back, lift the low belly up. Again, toes can be tucked or untucked. Get the feeling of the strap pulling. So we open the collarbones, open the chest, and start our back bend. Lift your shoulder blades into the back of the heart. You can stay right here, back of the neck long, or go ahead and come with your hands to your heels. Once you've got that, open through the arms by externally rotating. Lift your back ribs away from your pelvis and move your pelvis forward towards your knees. Really feel that big opening in the heart. When you're ready, slowly, slowly starting to release and have your pause. Sit back down on the heels, or if you need a child's pose. One more breath. Okay, so let's come on our backs next. You're gonna make sure to have a strap, no, have a block nearby. If you might need a strap too, so keep them both nearby. For now, we don't need any of those. Just come down on your back. So we'll repeat fish pose. We did that the other week when we did our pulsation of the heart, but it's a belly up back bend. So we're gonna include it today. Let's tuck our hands underneath our bottom. And if that bothers you, you might wanna blanket down just for a little cushioning. And see if you can start to kind of tuck your elbows and shoulders in a little bit. Press through your arms, your elbows, and start to lift through your chest. So we're not going into a full pose yet. Feet are flat. Just lift your chest, press through your arm bones, pull your arm bones apart to help you open those collarbones, and let your shoulder blades be a shelf for your heart. Lift your heart up. Maybe now your head is starting to tip back. Maybe you'll come to the crown of your head if that feels okay, opening the throat. Maybe you'll lift those legs up into the air. Really lift through your heart, press through your arms. Hold here, one more breath. You're light on your head if you have your head tip back. And then slowly, slowly release. Coming down, take the arms out and just slide the legs out for a moment and just let yourself experience the after effect of that pose. Notice what's coming up as we work on these belly up back bends. Okay, we're going to take supported bridge next. So we'll start with supported. We're going to progress to full bridge, but let's start by putting a block underneath the sacrum. And I think most of you guys could be in level 2. So the block is on the middle setting. If that's too much, of course, go to that lower setting. And I like to come up on my tiptoes and just give my tailbone a little bit of a lengthening and then bring the feet back down flat. We're going to come into robot arms. So the palms are facing each other. Okay, from here, press into your arm bones, your shoulders, and lift your chest enough that you can kind of tuck those shoulder blades in towards each other. Keep pressing through your arm bones, lift your chest up, use those shoulder blades to be a shelf for your heart, kind of presenting it up toward the sky. So when we lift our heart to the sky, it's like this offering, right? It's this I surrender kind of feeling. Keep all this in the chest. Let's see if we can bring the right knee into your chest and extend that leg up toward the sky. Press through your elbows, lift your chest, reach through that leg. And then when you're ready, go ahead and switch. Knee comes in, heel reaches up toward the sky. Keep lifting your heart. We should feel a contraction in the upper back. And then we'll release. And start to undo the shoulder blades. Let them come out. And then we're going to lower the block down to first setting. And for a moment, just stretch the legs out. If that's too much, you can just do one leg at a time. So we lengthen those hip flexors a bit. Again, belly up. Let's do one more breath here. Now, if that was already pretty challenging, you're going to stick with supported bridge. Those of you who want are going to try that sequence without the block. So up to you. Listen to your body. Take the block out if you want to go for the next level of bridge pose, or repeat with the support. Coming into your robot arms. Tuck your shoulder blades in a little bit, lifting your chest. Really notice that your feet are about hips distance apart. Press through the feet and lift the hips up just a little bit, like maybe an inch or so. You're grazing the ground. And then you can tuck your shoulder blades in again. Press through your arm bones. Start to lift through your heart space. Those shoulder blades lifting the heart. Now go ahead and take your hips up all the way. And see if you can feel like you're initiating that from your tailbone. Lift your tailbone up. So we get like a posterior tilt. Lift your hip points up. And then go ahead and wiggle those shoulders in again, lifting the heart even higher. Press your elbows, press your shoulders, lift your hip points. Good. Now undo the shoulders and we're going to slowly, slowly come down. We are going to come back up again for another round, but let's take a moment here. Have a nice breath into the belly before we do another round. Remember, you can always go back to supported. You can also just take a rest if you need a rest. Otherwise, we're going to do another round. This time, option to clasp your hands underneath you. We've been preparing for that. If that's hard on your arms and shoulders, you're going to instead grip the mat with your hands. Now, when I do the mat grip, I really actually like the mat grip because you can externally rotate your arm bones. Let's all try this together before we come up. Hold your mat in your hands. Your thumbs are on top. Your fingers are under the mat. Now, externally rotate your arm bones. Your knuckles roll under. And your thumbs are still on top. Your fingers are rolling under. You can tuck your shoulder blades together and really open the arms, chest, shoulders. So that could be an option. You could release. That could be an option you could do when you're up in your bridge, or you could do the clasp, okay? Let's start the same way though. Robot the arms, tuck the shoulder blades, lift the hips an inch, tuck the shoulder blades again, lift the heart. So sometimes if we lift the hips all the way up first, we can't get the chest to lift. Now, initiate from the tailbone, lift up, lift your hip points toward your navel and walk those shoulder blades in, press through the feet, and now either clasp your hands or hold the edges of your mat and externally rotate your arm bones. You can pull on the mat to help you lift higher. Really concentrate on lifting your heart as well as your tailbone. Let's hold here, 2 more breaths. And then we're going to undo the arms, undo the shoulder blades, and very slowly, slowly coming down for a pause. Let your arms be at your side for a moment. Turn both palms to the ground, turn both palms up, and keep rolling till your pinky rolls toward the floor. And then roll the arms in until the pinkies lift. So roll those arms out and in. And now just like we did with the shoulder blades when we first started practice, now go faster. Roll in, roll out, roll in, roll out. Go as fast as you like. This is really great if we get pinching in our shoulders that travels down the arm. It helps to kind of release any fascial adhesions in the arms and shoulders. See if you can go faster now, faster. And slowly, slowly come to a stop. And just feel that little energy flow through your arms. Okay, last round of bridge. I just wanted to give you a little break. So this round, any version you like, if you want to add the knee in, lift the leg, that'll be the next stage. You can either repeat that in supported, you can do it active, or you can repeat one of the other versions that we did. Let's start out the same way. Robot arms, tuck the shoulder blades, lift up a little bit, tuck the shoulder blades more, lift the heart. Now from the tailbone, lift up, and then either clasping your hands, holding your mat, or staying in robot arms. And then if you like, you're gonna root into one leg, bring the other knee into your chest and extend that leg up. Really press through your heel. And then when you're ready, go ahead and switch. Try not to lose your height. Push through the heel, lift your hips, extend up. And then when you're ready, coming down. You can hold longer if you want. Try to get one more bridge in before you come down. And then when you're ready, undo the shoulders. Slowly come down. And just have a moment, let the legs come out. Find a little Shavasana, just a mini one for a moment. Feel that sense of surrendering. All right, bend your knees, roll to your side, and we'll come on up into seated posture. I know I'm making you get up. I think we need a forward fold after all that back bending though. So let's do a twist to release any tension in the spine, and then we'll do forward fold. So let's grab a blanket and a pillow, if you have those things. Take this blanket and roll it up to a log. So it looks like that. And then if you want, you can sit up on something. It's optional, but I want this back bend, I'm not back bend, forward bend to be a little more chill because we just worked pretty hard. So take your knees over the blanket roll and widen your sit bones. Sit up tall. We're going to take the right knee and bend it. Bring the foot behind the blanket if you can. Hug your shin and try to sit up nice and tall. Lift through the back of your skull. Okay, so now keep holding on with your left hand. Take your right arm up. Try to reach to touch the ceiling as high as you can, and then bring it back behind you onto the floor. Inhale, lift your chest, exhale, and turn into the twist. Now, keep holding your shin for now. I know some of you like to do the cross, but not yet. Root down through your sit bones, lift up tall, especially the back of the skull. And then think about pulling your elbows apart from each other. That'll help widen the chest and the back. And now bring your awareness to your right rib cage. Move your right rib cage in the direction of your right hand. And move your left rib cage in the direction of your left hand. And now see if you can breathe into both sides of your ribs as you reach up through the crown of your head. Stay rooted through your legs and feet. Now, if you want to go further and do that little cross, you can, or stay right here. Depends on the length of your upper arm bone, if that's going to be an optimal alignment for you. On your next inhale, unwind it back to the center and switch out. Bring the other foot behind the blanket. Hug the shin, lift the chest, take those shoulders back. Keep holding on with your right hand. Inhale, left arm up. Try to touch the sky and then bring it back behind you onto the ground. Inhale, lifting your chest. Exhale, turn towards your left. Bend your elbows toward the sides. Pull them away from each other. Pull your left rib cage towards your left hand. Right rib cage toward the right hand or elbow. And then breathing into both sides of your rib cage. Lift through the back of your skull. On your next inhale, unwind back to center, both legs out over the blanket. And you might widen a little bit here just to make it a little softer forward bend. Pull your sit bones directly behind you, and that'll facilitate your pelvis tipping forward. Good. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale here. Inhale, lift higher as if you want to touch the sky with both hands. And then exhale, hinge forward. Hands can be on shins, ankles, or feet. Pause there. Now, before we totally relax, inhale, lift up again. And try to get your spine muscles to move in. So you're contracting your back. Pull your heels towards you. We're getting the whole back chain really engaged. And then we can soften. So let your spine now round. Those vertebrae can even come out. Let your head drop. And we're going to stay for about a minute in this forward fold. So that's why I wanted it to be a little more supported. But just bringing some balance to the nervous system after all that spinal extension. So spinal extension and those back bends, those kind of cracking the heart open kind of poses are more enlivening, stimulating for our nervous system. And when we forward fold, having the opposite effect. So it's more of a feeling of calm, safety. It's more restful. So really let yourself surrender into the forward fold now. Let go of effort. Let it be kind of yin-like in quality. Let your head get heavier and heavier. Last 2 breath cycles. And after that second breath cycle, we're going to come out super slow motion. So starting to slowly stack your vertebra up, let your head be last. Take your time. When you get vertical, just pause there for a moment. Maybe with your eyes closed, have a breath or two. All right, so from here, we're going to make our way onto our backs. You can use these props that you just had. So put that one blanket roll maybe for the backs of your knees. If you were sitting on something, maybe that could be for your head. And just come down, give your knees a hug. Rock a little bit side to side. So not quite time for Shavasana yet, almost. Take your legs up straight and cross your right shin and ankle in front of your left. And then we're going to bend the knees and come into Supja Sukhasana. So it's like you're sitting cross-legged, but you're on your back. Hold behind the backs of your legs and draw your legs in toward your chest as you pin down through your sacrum and lower area toward your tailbone. Let that drop. Shoulder blades drop. And then a couple times, inhale, extend the legs. Exhale, pull down. Now, if it would feel good, grab the outer edges of your feet to do this. So that would be the next level here. Inhale, straighten part way. Exhale, pull down. So either holding behind your legs or holding your feet. You could also hold your ankles like we do for Happy Baby. Let's do that one more time before we switch sides. This time, just hold it with the feet pulling down, sacrum heavy, shoulders heavy, maybe a little rock. So it's almost like the same quality of a Happy Baby, but since we're crossing the midline, there's a little bit more integration here. And a nice little bit of hip opening. Let's switch the legs. So take them up and cross the other leg in front, bend the knees, and either hold behind your knees, ankles, or pinky edge of your feet if you can. And then a couple times, straighten and pull down. Just being mindful of not getting too rounded in your back here. So if you do, you want to make sure you hold behind the legs rather than try to get your feet. So one more time, lifting and lowering, and then we'll hold it for a few breaths. Again, drop through that lower sacrum area, drop through the shoulders. Maybe you want a little rock here side to side. Undo your legs, bring them both into your chest and extend the legs up straight and just circle your feet around a few times. Go the other direction. And then knees back in, one hand on each kneecap. Pull the knees away from your body toward the top of your mat, then drop them out to the side, then circle into the center. So now do that a few rounds, just circle the knees so the legs go apart. I know this one is always confusing. So let your knees go apart and then back together. Yeah, almost like you're drawing a figure eight out to the sides. And then at some point, just reverse the direction. So we're just trying to soothe the lower back with some of these finishing postures so we don't have any crankiness after all those back bends. Bring those knees back into the chest. One more nice big squeeze of those knees into the chest. And then when you're ready, go ahead and let your legs come out so that the blanket roll is behind your knees. And before Shavasana, take your legs and we'll do the same thing we did with the arms. Roll the legs out, roll the legs in. And you can kind of start to go a little faster. Roll the legs out and in, out and in. And then slowly coming to a stop. And now dropping into your Shavasana. Belly up, a place of surrender. Place of surrendering your efforts of your practice. A place of surrendering to the present moment, to what is. So make any adjustments that you might need. Let your body start to settle. So as you take a few more finishing breaths, let there be some nice long exhalations. And every exhale is a release, a letting go. When we inhale, we take in, we fill up. And as we exhale, we release. Let yourself linger a bit in those exhales to keep calming the nervous system. Maybe noticing that as you take those nice long exhales, we find a pause before the next in-breath. No force. If it doesn't happen, just let it go. But if it feels natural to take that pause, allow it. So I'll share another reading from T.S. as you take some time to rest. And this is from his book called The Practice is the Path. So he writes, when I wake each morning, I sit for a half hour in the space of not knowing. For that period of time, I open myself up to possibility. I till the soil of my heart and mind, fertilize it with positive intention, and sit in the fertile ground of potentiality. I resolve to sit with a wide open heart and alert mind, inhabited by space and clarity. In Zen, the state of mind is sometimes referred to as radical openness. In Zen mind, beginner's mind says wisdom is a ready mind. Despite my good intentions, there are times when I get tossed about in the throes of uncertainty. Pangs of fear creep in, anxiety crawls through my gut, and dread lodges in my shoulders and neck. Hesitancy and doubt metastasize quickly. And when I struggle with uncertainty, I attempt to cultivate its antidote, fortitude and trust. This is paradoxical. How can I live with confidence and resolve in the midst of an uncertain world? In the face of antipathy, violence, prejudice, how do I remain open and receptive? When our hearts crack open, at least a little bit each day, we feel more acutely the suffering inherent in being. A spark of loving kindness ignites within the space of the rendered heart. This is what keeps the heart supple. Each morning, I rekindle an inner promise to stay fluid and receptive toward all that may come, whether painful or pleasant. In the midst of global uncertainties today, the path of radical openness is needed more urgently than ever before. Let's take another moment or two to continue to rest. right, so starting to come back to awareness now. You can let your breath get a little deeper. Taking some time for smaller movements at first. When you feel ready to, you might make some bigger movements, hug your knees, eventually pausing over on your side. So try not to pop up too quickly. After a couple of moments on your side, then you can go ahead and press yourself up. Maybe let your head be the last to come up. No hurry. As you arrive seated, go ahead and find that length in your spine. Lift the back of your skull. Letting the chin just drop a little bit. So we feel that length in the back of the neck and the upper back. Maybe the eyes close or gaze down at the floor. Let's take a couple more breaths here. Noticing the effects of your practice today. This place of breaking the heart open, coming into that place of surrender, place of the unknown. Knowing that that place is the place of potential, where anything can happen. Let's bring the hands now together in front of the heart space. On your next inhale, let the heart lift a little higher, and as you exhale, bow your head to your heart. And thank you so much, everyone. Namaste. All right, guys, next week we'll move on from Backbends. Not sure what we're doing just yet, but it won't be Backbends. Hope you had a good practice. Thank you for coming today.
Thanks, Dee.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Bye-bye. Have a great day. Yep. Take care.
Thanks, Dee.
Thank you. Thanks for coming.
See ya.
Bye-bye.